So we finally finished up our 69 Firebird project called Routy, and I have to say, man, I think we hit pretty much every goal that we set out to hit. The first thing is the look of the car came out fantastic, and it really looks almost eerily like the rendering that Ben Hermance did. The crew did a tremendous job in making that image come to life, and I think they hit every element from the color, the stance, the wheel and tire package. I mean, it's all there. A car like this doesn't just happen. I mean, it takes hours and hours and hours of labor done by a crew that actually cares and has some talents to bring to the table. And our crew did a really remarkable job on this car. And beyond the labor, you also need to have the right parts. And we were glad that the restoration items we got from Classic Industries, every one of them performed like it's supposed to. They all look right, they fit right. The mechanicals on this car are really nice. This 73 Pontiac 400 engine that the owner had built for the car, Ram Air 4 cam, number 16 heads. We put a Professional Products crosswind intake on it. And the Holley EFI system, the car runs super, super sweet. The MSD ignition works real nice. And the MagnaFlow exhaust gives this car a sound that is just dynamite. It's quiet enough to where you can have a conversation when you are just driving down the road, but when you step on the loud pedal, it rewards you with just a truly, truly great sound. Now, part of the magic of why this car drives so well is it's the correct part selection for what we wanted to achieve. There's nothing super exotic in this car. It's got QA1 coilover shocks in the front, Global West Delalume bushings in the stock control arms, Detroit Speed lowering springs in the rear, and again, QA1 adjustable shocks in the back, some competition engineering subframe connectors. It's got a Hotchkiss front sway bar, and those Global West bushings in the rear springs as well. And the wheels are Boyd's Junkyard Dogs. They're 17/8s in the front and 18x9s in the rear. And it's riding on Nitto NT555 tires. And man, it handles perfectly flat. It goes around turns really smooth. We got a quick ratio steering box from Classic Industries, so the steering is nice and tight. The steering column is nice. It's a Flaming River tilt column, so it's comfortable to drive. And the brakes are Barry units front and rear, and we've had great success with those in the past. And this car stops predictably and repeatably every time. And that's what you want in a car. You want something that doesn't give you any curveballs or surprises, and this thing hits the nail on the head. Inside the car, we wanted to make everything look like it belonged, and that started with the gutted interior that we applied hush mat to throughout the whole thing. So it's got a high level of sound deadener. And then again, a carpet from Classic Industries. The dash is a full reproduction gauge assembly for the 69 Trans Am. And again, Classic Industries has all these parts on the shelves. It's a triple gauge set that's stacked up on the right side, and then the large speedo and tack, and a whole new gauge surround, so none of the chrome is peeling off, and the black is nice and crisp. We have a Vintage Air AC system installed, which uses a new set of original style vents, and this kit actually uses the original controls. We use the original radio to turn on an amplifier which is being fed by an MP3 player. So the radio knob actually powers up, but we're not listening to the original radio. We hid some speakers in the kick panels, and then the rear package tray has a pair of 6x9s in the back. The seats are actually out of a 2000 Firebird, and they look like they belong. We modified the seat track so that the power and the air lumbar supports all work, and we had the rear seat reupholstered in the same material, the same leather pattern to match the front. But one of the best elements of this car is the way it looks. And our friend Ben Hermance at Hermance Design came up with the overall concept. And what we wanted to do was capitalize on Pontiac elements, but kind of freshen it up a little bit. And what that means is we took the stock 69 Firebird's body, we added all of the Trans Am body elements, the reproduction steel Trans Am hood, the side extractor scoops, the rear wing, all Trans Am stuff. But then we took some stripes that were reminiscent of the 69 GTO Judge and moved them up on the car and adapted them to be on the F-body, on the Firebird. So it's got a Pontiac look, but it's new, and it's a new interpretation. The color scheme is DuPont Hot Hues Red Hot Meltdown, and it's a serious red. I mean, I know why they call it that now. And we've got a charcoal stripe with a silver pinstripe around that, and it's buried in tons of clear, and it's super, super straight, and it's super shiny, and the paint scheme just, it really pops. It came out really nice. We had the wheels powder coated by Extreme Powder Coating in Minnesota, and they did them in a charcoal gray to kind of offset the stripe. And then we painted the tail panel with a charcoal gray also, so that it's got some contrast in the back to give it a little bit more of a racy look. The slightly lowered stance helps give the car an aggressive look, and then the flush mounted glass, which came from classic Auto Glass Innovations, gives it, again, another modern twist. And that glass has a slight tint to it, so it's a little, you know, a little aggressive, and then a smooth trim that goes around the window beads to make everything look real clean and really slick. So all I can say is that Steve, the owner of this car, has to watch out, because this thing causes trouble. I mean, everybody wants to look at it, and it's definitely, you know, Arrest Me Red turned up to 11. So a car that looks this good, you know, it doesn't even need to perform well, because it's already going to be a show winner. But this car has an ace in the hole, and it's the way it drives. It drives fantastic. The Holley EFI system allows this Pontiac 400 and Muncie 4-speed combo to run really, really smooth and predictably. You turn the key, it starts up on its own, you don't hit the gas, it idles down smooth, and it makes a surprising amount of power. And when you start rolling through the gears, the car rewards you with a very, very smooth power band. It pulls real hard all the way through the gears, and it's got plenty of torque. So anytime you step on the throttle in any gear, it puts you back in the seat. And this Holley EFI system, I mean, as I'm driving around, I've got a little handheld controller that allows me to monitor all the functions of the car. I can see coolant temp, I can see battery voltage, I can see injector pulse width, all kinds of stuff, air-fuel ratio as it's happening. So I know the car is in tune, and this thing just gives it the exact amount of fuel that it needs. Never hesitates, never bogs. It starts and runs clean. It's real impressive. It's not a race car, but it drives really, really nice, and the great MagnaFlow sound, it puts a smile on your face. So we've got kind of mixed emotions about the Routy Firebird being finished. We're happy it's done. We're very pleased with the way it came out, but you know, you get kind of attached to these cars as you build them. It's been a long relationship. But the good thing is we're releasing it. It's leaving the nest. And all I can say is look out, because the owner of this car is going to be driving it a lot. It's going to go to a bunch of different events. It's not going to stand still long enough to get dust on it. All right, so a car like this is much more than just the parts you put into it. I mean, to build something like this, it takes a crew that actually has some skills and has some passion and knows what they're doing. And I think the guys, you know, everybody did a great job on this car. So Pontiac built this thing the first time, but I think the V8TV crew rebuilt it better, and Pontiac's name's all over this car, so I think it's only fair that we put our names on it too. Right, Steve? I don't think he knows about this. We only got one chance. The whole build of this car lives on our website at v8tvshow.com. Feel free to check out all the videos and see the progress of Routy from start to finish.